Alright, so here we go again, bit more from Craig, drops the top on the plenum, the old wagon's going well. She's going to be a good bit of gear when he's done. Let's check it out.
Oh yeah, so back into it again. The KBS come up nice under here. So I've got that all done now and ready for the KBS sound deadener, which also turned up, looks awesome. I'm going to lay that or put that down under here, and we'll let you know what I think as I go along. But it looks bloody good in the box. We'll see how it goes on. Done all underneath the plenum. We've given it a nice coat as well, and I've got all in here done to how I'm happy with it. So again, if you guys want a nice flat look, don't use a brush. I did find that a coarser bristle brush works better than a fine bristle one. If you're going to go that way, it just flattens out better. But I'm happy with this, again, for what I'm doing. Now I've made the little lip that I wanted in here, and we've traced him along. So that goes all along there, and then that will be the little bit that sits on the plenum, so I can then spot weld in between that, and it should stop. It should just make it a little bit easier to weld, because I didn't really want to have, being the gap that's in it, with cutting it, I didn't want to have the tips of the wire poking down through, or trying to blow little holes, as you sometimes it does when you've got a bit of a wider gap, and then trying to plug them up on this particular spot. So I may end up putting another bit along here just to help it keep flat, or I might put it in here, just depending, to stay away from these shapes, or even where it's a little bit flat here, I might just put something there and here as well, just to hold it into spot. So let's sit it on there, we'll get it all lined up and go from there. Rightio, picking up where we left off from with those fish eyes, and it's all been blocked back. And we've got our filler in there. You can see where some of the deeper fish eyes were. It was never going to really work. Putting just another coating of the KBS blacktop on it, like I was thinking of doing. So we ended up just giving it a bit further sand and putting a little bit of filler in it, and then blocking all that back. So there we are. It's been all wiped down now, so hopefully no issues, and I will do some brushing of the KBS on it now. I was thinking about mixing up a bit of the original paint colour and shooting it in there, but I think I'm just going to go this way. The rest of this car doesn't really matter. Quick one up the side of it. I think I'm probably going to ruin the look that I'm going for if I paint it all up nice in there. So we're just going to go a satin finish in here. It's done properly, and we won't have any issues. Ready for a bit of KBS blacktop now. All those little fish eyes and that seem to be all taken up. So we've given it another pre-prep for just to hopefully double make sure there's nothing else in there that's going to give me any issues this time around. We'll get in there and we'll paint her up, and hopefully levels out nice and neat for us. Alright, so it's all coated up now. We put the KBS Fusion prime on it. We're just giving that 20-30 minutes for it to cure, then we can paint right over the top of that, so it says. Got any of the run marks and a bit of orange peeling out of it, blocked back really nice. So we just got the old X-Hot water system converted to a heater boring away in here now, so that should bring a bit of heat around the place and no doubt share some dust. So when I put the top coat on there, I know it's not going to be perfect, but my shed is full of dust and bits of metal and that we're always cutting around out here, so it'll come up as good as it can. But for this car, I reckon it's going to be fine. Okay, we've got the KBS top coat on. I actually went and bought a good brush to do this, but having a bit of a read, the natural bristles are the ones that they recommend. So I'm kind of thinking that some of the issues I've been having with trying to get this coat level is actually the brush. But anyway, we'll wait till she's fully dry and see how it comes up, and I'll make a decision from there, but I'm thinking it's probably going to be good enough. Alright, so I only reckon we're ready to rock and roll here. We've got our clecos into place. I've given it 2 little tacks just here, and then we'll go along and just make sure the fitment's where it needs to be. So far looking pretty good, but we need to get the spot weld piece here, as I was saying, really good to use that bit to sand it up where it should be. So we'll have to do this, tack it in along here first, and then we'll be able to flex it a little bit more and get that where it needs to be, and I should be able to close that gap up a little bit more in there, and that'll make it nicer to weld. So I'll just step around. I'll show you here. I'll get myself untangled from the cord. Oh yeah. So this is it here as well. Clear coat into spot. And that's where that little bit of a lip that I made comes in handy. You can spot along there, and it's going to reduce the warpage in it. And I've even put one along here, just a little bit of one here. I wanted to stay away from rolling the edges here. I don't have a shrinker stretcher, so I want to stay away from trying to make pieces into there, then putting pie cuts and stuff and welding it up. I think it'll be fine. We're spot on here. And we just again need to make sure we're right along here before we go weld everything. So I've got a like a heavy jacket put in here. It's actually an old fire jacket actually, with holes burnt in it. So and you're one of the guys who handed me that. Thank you very much. Name shall not be mentioned. That's in there, so that's good. Or you can use a welding jacket or wet a heap of rags, one of the two, but that's what I had. It's already trashed, had holes in it, so I'm using that. Yeah, so Dave's posted up part 3 and I think 4 is going up today, or anyway, some stage this week. But I'm just putting this plenum on now, and I thought I'll just stop here and show you something as I'm going. We've got him all spotted along here to hold him into place. I won't go and do and weld along down here just yet. I'm going to do this last, mainly because I'm toying with the idea. Maybe when I lift it up, I might try get a bit of Sikaflex under it and then clamp it down. Plus, I am waiting on, which is pretty cool, a new gun that I've ordered to suit these bad boys. So, spot weld tips for a MiG. If you haven't seen them, meant to be really cool. Before you rush out and buy them, or you can rush out and buy them, even better. I'll do a bit of a shot on them. Hopefully they'll turn up in time for me, and I can show you how they work along here, and myself as well. I get them through Hamden Welding Supplies. Good bunch of guys. Get on there, mate, have a look. Super helpful. I don't mind giving fellas a bit of a, nearly said plug then. I don't really want to give any bloke a plug, to be honest, but I'll give their business a bit of a wrap on here. Mind you, all right, if you do want to give blokes a plug, that's your choice. However, we want to help blokes out that help us. So I find these guys really good to deal with. Hamden Welding Supplies, give them a call. I always answer the phone, and always super helpful and knowledgeable. And back to what I was going to show you. When we weld along here, got stuck in my own dribble there. When we weld along here, you'll see, as I'm spotting it, I mean, this is just where it's gapped out from me cutting it with the angle grinder, which is, I'm saying, when you're cutting angles, it is pretty hard to keep a nice straight line. But see how it's pulling in? And then as we go along here, we haven't got it. it's gapping out. So as we go along, that's actually closing up because it's getting hotter and expanding, and we should get a really nice weld along there. Well, we'll show you and see how it turns out. Okay, so we've got that all tacked in along here. And look at that. That gap is closed up. Beautiful. Nice and flush along there. We can, again, it's really hard to get in here now. Now that that's welded up, so it's not like you can get a, well, you might be able to probably take 2 people, but you can probably slip in under there and work a dolly along that if you needed to sort of stretch it up and open that gap a little bit more, but that's perfect. And we're going along here as well. And we'll just stop there. I might go to here, and then I'll just, as like I said there before, I want to be able to lift that up and maybe squirt a bit of Sikaflex just along this seam here before I clamp that finally into place. But I'm going to work my way along here now, join all those spot welds up. Again, hit it with a wire wheel, clean it, and then clean it up. So might even have time to put a bit of the KBS sound deadener on, or I might even drag the engine out, which has just turned up, which is really cool, and show you what that is. Don't know, one of the two. All spotted up now. Takes a while, but we're all done all the way along. Not gonna leach out that far. The other side is all done as well. Righto, so as I mentioned, I'll leave that bit till later. I'm just going to give it a clean up now and then see if I've missed any little spots in here, and we'll give it another zap if I have. I'm sure I have in there somewhere. And then, yeah, we'll give it a coat of paint and get ready to get this windscreen in.
So, the lad does some great work, that's for sure. There's no doubt about it. So, again, Craig, thank you very much for sharing it with us, mate. Super impressed. Looks really good. So, anyway, thanks for watching. You know the drill. Like, subscribe, share it around, and have a good one. Cheers.